Hi, chat. Sorry. I'm finishing up putting on some lotion on my hands because I want to be better about that. My hands are always super dry. And I feel like that's mean. After all I put them through, you know? I do a lot of handcrafting, so I feel like that's just mean to them. It's the least I could do. Anyways, as you can see, I got Clip Studio Paint. Just like, wow, randomly. Finally have something on my PC so I don't have to use my iPad. But now, the difficulty will be unlocking how to use this. Just... Honestly, I think we can put something up here as well. Okay, give me a second. What do we watch? Ugh, I don't really want to watch that. Let's see what's on Rotten Mango. No. I guess we'll just see this one. Bada bing, bada boom. First, I have to. What's it start with? Okay, there we go. Let me just fix it though. Theater mode. So I want to move that to this side. Wait, that's where chat will be, no? Yeah. Actually, okay. Go back. Okay, let's start it then. Here.
Bada bing, bada boom.
It looks like a hot air balloon, but it's so much smaller. And it doesn't come in those like fun rainbow colors. It's just a giant white balloon with a big black bag attached at the bottom, just drifting into the air. People are standing outside. They're covering their eyes.
I'm not used to using a tablet,
trying to get a
so
good look at this thing. What is this thing? It's so anticlimactic. It's slow. The balloon is slow, but it's coming down, and it's also so random. Like, what is this giant balloon? And it's not just one. Over the span of 5 months, thousands of balloons, 5,500 giant balloons just keep mysteriously floating in the air in different parts of the country of South Korea.
How big are they?
I would say, it could probably fit 2-3 people in a balloon.
Oh, big.
Yeah, in the beginning, there was panic. I mean, some regions had to shut down the airspace. They delayed all flights. Some regions, the mysterious balloons, they start triggering these air raid alerts. But later on, it just becomes the way of life. Every citizen gets an Amber Alert. Balloon flying in your region, beware. Some of them land peacefully on the street, making people gather around. Another one smashes into greenhouses. Others start breaking down mid-journey, and they just start spewing stuff onto the street. A few land near police buildings. 2 do end up causing a big stir because they lay.
okay, I don't know why the YouTube keeps popping off, but let me just adjust my tablet settings because me try my. Wait. Mm. Why does it feel like it's like angled? It probably is because of the way that I'm holding it. Okay, I think that's good. I don't know why the YouTube video is like popping in and out, but
Land on the grounds of the South Korean presidential office,
like I need to
which means
see.
they gotta be investigated thoroughly. The balloon itself is just a balloon. It's what's attached to it that's weird. There's no weapons. There's no like biological warfare. That's what people thought. It's just a ton of waste paper. Think about if you were to get all of your home trash bags and then attach it to a hot air balloon and send it on its merry way. There's cigarette butts, used toilet paper, cut up fabric, and there's also feces. Animal feces, human feces, feces with live parasites like roundworms. I mean, I guess it's maybe, if we're dramatic, could be considered biological warfare. It's poop balloons. That's what they're called. Sent to South Korea by North Korea. This is in 2024. Last year, for 5 months, when we were in Korea, we were getting alerts about the poop balloons that were being sent down near us.
Seriously?
North Korea is sending a message. Some of them have pamphlets inside with derogatory messages for the South Korean president and the first lady, and naturally, this becomes a huge diplomatic issue, with Kim Jong-un's own sister publicly responding, and she states rather sarcastically, "I cannot understand why they're making us laugh as if they're being hit by a shower of bullets. It's a genuine gift of sincerity. It's what they like to call an act of freedom of expression."
That is wild.
To be fair, they are not bullets, they are balloons. It's less lethal, but North Korea, this is technically a reactionary measure since South Korean activists have been sending balloons filled with anti-regime pamphlets, thousands of USB drives containing K-pop songs and K-dramas. They called it the Balloon Wars.
Wait a
And this
minute.
is just one
Let's go. So what you
of
doing?
many things unfolding in
Trying to
South
get it
Korea
to
in
work.
2024. Because around that same time, equally, if not maybe more concerning, is the woman that was just released from prison. May 14th, 2024, an older woman was released from prison. And maybe she
Just
knows,
slowly trying to get it to
maybe
work.
she doesn't know that journalists and investigators are all watching her. They're following her when she gets out of prison. If you don't know this woman, you would think she's a high-profile serial killer that just got released. Why are we all following a senior citizen that just got released from prison? Aren't there crazier criminals we should be stalking? The first thing she does after being released from jail is go deep into the mountains of South Korea. And it's not just a random mountain spot. It's a very specific place with a very specific goal and energy. She's got to walk through this concrete tunnel, then walk through the path leading to this massive stone pillar, probably 3 times my height. And it's got writing on it. It looks like a giant tombstone.
I hate that YouTube isn't popping up. Like I have to keep, like the tab is open and everything, but like once I go to Clip Studio Paint, it just kind of like disappears for some reason. Also, why isn't this working? What did I do? Have you tried opening and closing it? Yeah, that's wrong. What do you mean? Clip Studio Paint? What? Okay, Ta-da. I mean, it's empty, so... Okay. I'll be back, hold on. What do I mean I'll be back? I'm not leaving, I'm just... Never mind. Ignore me. Where is... YouTube just likes to pop off. Okay.
It says, final resting place for souls. It's her family's ancestral burial ground. She's gonna visit her ancestors. That's the first thing she does after being released from prison.
The Bad with
Reporters
Technology
go
channel.
back a few days later
Oh,
just to
shut
see,
up.
Are we missing something? Like, why is this the
Tried
first
my
place she comes to?
best.
It's weird. I mean, obviously, they can't walk around and browse while they're following her that day. So they come back, and the first thing they see is this tent-like structure on the left. It's like a sun protection tent, but there's nothing under it except a single chair. And then hanging from the sides of the tent,
wait.
you have these paper.
Alright, Stephanie, I need you to shut up for a second. I need to concentrate. Oh, jeez. Okay, let's see. What is it working? It's not like I'm using white. What is... Oh my god, okay. Got a pencil. Why isn't it... Ah! What did I do? Is it just like a scrolling up or scrolling down thing? What did I do? What is that? What? What brush are you? I know. The pencil? Question mark? Oh, my phone. Shh, phone. Shush. You scared me. It was working like when I started it, and now it's... Okay, real quick, try using your mouse, see if that works. What the hell? Pablo, what are you doing? Okay, yeah, mouse. Okay, mouse here. Let's see now. No. When you click the pen, does it register? Oh. Why did that work? Like this? What is happening? Wait, let me close it again and open it. Okay. Okay. Why does my pen wanna... Oh my god, there we go. Oh, I'm alive. I'm alive! I live. I can't believe I did it. Okay, but give me... Look at me, I'm learning. Oh, shut up. Oh my god, I feel stupid. What? Wait, I can send you a fat amount of brushes. Oh, that'd be cool. Thank you. Oh, it is like a watercolor. Wow. I like it. I love doing watercolor in real life. Brush. Let's go to like a 7, yeah? Well, why is it like a... Why is it watercolory? Oh, because it's the brush. Okay, let's do a pencil. That'd be cool. I mean, if you sent me like a fat amount of brushes. Okay, I'm just trying to get it, like, the hang of this. So how do I set this as my default? Because it's just going straight to the... Okay. skin is so thick still. Wait, I have to... Oh, it's gonna be different. Oh, it's gonna take me a while to get used to this. Why is it? Ugh. I'm... The struggle is real. Did a pirate give it to you? No, my lovely sister. I don't like this pen. Pizza. Hey, the trashy raccoon. I try to look. I'm not. Okay, I try to look for your channel, and oh my god. Oh, Jesus. I should change the title to "Watch Me Struggle." I like pizza. Yes, pizza is delicious. Okay, why isn't the... No. No. Nope. Nope. What is happening? Oh yeah, hi. What you drawing? I'm trying to just do something, but I'm having a hard time. What if you like you try to solve water hunger instead of solving art? I don't think I could. I'm poor. How about we solve my hunger, and then we could worry about the world, because it's... Ugh. Did he get stuck there? You know what? I'm so tired of this. I don't like this brush. Yeah. Okay. I'll just go with the watercolor looking one. Fine. Okay. Where did Little Grief go? I don't see them anymore. I see Big Grief. Little Big Grief has been discontinued. I mean, little. Jeez. That was just until I got used to using this one. Why? Because that it was always just supposed to be like until then kind of thing. It was never meant to be like the you killed my boy, he's still in my like pictures and stuff, so bloody murder. Yeah, okay, let's not go that far. I'm gonna have to die to do this. Okay, I'm gonna try the basics of the basics here. Because I have to press down so much. Why? That's not even what I wanted to do. Okay, I need to... This, yes. Yes, I think that's it. Okay. I don't put a lot of pressure onto the... Boy, are you eating it now, Miss Grief? Eating it? What? What do you mean? Arting. Oh. Maybe. I'm trying to fix the pressure settings. Okay, let's sob. Why are you sobbing? Okay, it's stuck again. Because I killed a little Grief. My mom is kind of homeless. Reference. I... Okay, this is gonna be a problem. My pen keeps getting stuck on eraser and I can't change it manually. Why? Okay. Anyways, I will play the video from the beginning. Most hated First Lady Korean president locks down country because quotation marks wife doesn't want to go to prison. Quotation marks. Okay.
Bada bing, bada boom.
While I struggle,
It looks
because
like a hot air balloon, but it's so much smaller. And it doesn't come in those like fun rainbow colors. It's just a giant white balloon with a big black bag attached at the bottom, just drifting into the air. People are standing outside. They're covering their eyes from the sun, but also they're trying to get a good look at this thing. What is this thing?
okay.
It's so anticlimactic. It's slow. The balloon
Why
is
is it?
slow, but it's coming down, and it's also so random. Like, what is this giant balloon? And it's not just one. Over the span of 5 months, thousands of balloons, 5,500 giant balloons, just keep mysteriously floating in the air in different parts of the country of South Korea.
How big are they?
There, I would say, it could probably fit 2-3 people in a balloon.
Oh, big.
Yeah, in the beginning, there was panic. I mean, some regions had to shut down the airspace. They delayed all flights. Some regions, the mysterious balloons, they start triggering these air raid alerts. But later on, it just becomes the way of life. Every citizen gets an Amber Alert. Balloon flying in your region, beware. Some of them land peacefully on the street, making people gather around. Another one smashes into greenhouses. Others start breaking down mid-journey, and they just start spewing stuff onto the street. A few land near police buildings. 2 do end up causing a big stir because they land on the grounds of the South Korean presidential office, which means they gotta be investigated thoroughly. The balloon itself is just a balloon. It's what's attached to it that's weird. There's no weapons. There's no like biological warfare. That's what people thought. It's just a ton of waste paper. Think about if you were to get all of your home trash bags and then attach it to a hot air balloon and send it on its merry way. There's cigarette butts, used toilet paper, cut up fabric, and there's also feces. Animal feces, human feces, feces with live parasites like roundworms. I mean, I guess it's maybe, if we're dramatic, could be considered biological warfare. It's poop balloons. That's what they're called. Sent to South Korea by North Korea. This is in 2024. Last year, for 5 months, when we were in Korea, we were getting alerts about the poop balloons that were being sent down near us. North Korea is sending a message. Some of them have pamphlets inside with derogatory messages for the South Korean president and the first lady, and naturally, this becomes a huge diplomatic issue, with Kim Jong-un's own sister publicly responding, and she states rather sarcastically, "I cannot understand why they're making a fuss as if they're being hit by a shower of bullets. It's a genuine gift of sincerity. It's what they like to call an act of freedom of expression."
That is wild.
What is that supposed to
To be
mean?
fair, they are not bullets, they are balloons. It's less lethal, but North Korea, this is technically a reactionary measure since South Korean activists have been sending balloons filled with anti-regime pamphlets, thousands of USB drives containing K-pop songs and K-dramas. They called it the Balloon Wars. And this is just one of the many things unfolding in South Korea in 2024. Because around that same time, equally, if not maybe more concerning, is the woman that was just released from prison. May 14th, 2024, an older woman is released from prison. I mean, maybe she knows, maybe she doesn't know, that journalists and investigators are all watching her. They're following her when she gets out of prison. If you don't know this woman, you would think she's a high-profile serial killer that just got released. Why are we all following a senior citizen that just got released from prison? Aren't there crazier criminals we should be stalking? The first thing she does after being released from jail is go deep into the mountains of South Korea. And it's not just a random mountain spot. It's a very specific place with a very specific goal and energy. She's got to walk through this concrete tunnel, then walk through the path leading to this massive stone pillar, probably 3 times my height. And it's got writing on it. It looks like a giant tombstone. It says, "Final resting place for souls."
Oh,
It's her
that's creepy.
family's ancestral burial ground. She wants to go visit her ancestors. That's the first thing she does after being released from prison. Reporters go back a few days later just to see, are we missing something? Like, why is this the first place she comes? It's weird. I mean, obviously, they can't walk around and browse while they're following her that day. So they come back, and the first thing they see is this tent-like structure on the left. It's like a sun protection tent, but there's nothing under it except a single chair. And then hanging from the sides of the tent, you have these paper lanterns. All of them have this yellow slip of paper, like a banner attached to the bottom, and there's names on there. Typically in Buddhist tradition and practice, you can buy these lanterns. You can have them put your name or whatever you want written hanging from there. It brings good fortune and happiness. And there's 2 very notable names there. But the thing that starts freaking out the reporters is, you walk a few more steps, and clearly the whole pathway, this whole place is meant to lead up to this building. It just leads to a pink square building, like baby pink, Barbie pink. It's like
Barbie
2
pink.
squares smashed together. The architecture is rudimentary. You cannot create a more simple looking building. It looks maybe 2 stories tall, but then you look at the building and you go, something's weird about this building. There's no door. Why is there no door to the building? It did take me a second to realize that there's no doors. I think my mind just naturally assumed there would be, which is strange. I mean, what happens if there's a fire? How do you even get in? What's the point of this building? There are 2 windows at the front side of the building. They're very small, kind of like jailhouse windows, but without the bars. They are positioned directly at the center of the building on top of each other.
Give me a second,
There's
chat.
not a window on any part of the house, on the sides, on the back, nothing.
No door, just 2 tiny windows.
Yeah. And it's this Barbie pink. Pink color. It does indeed get
Sorry, someone
stranger as
knocked
you
on
walk
my
closer.
door.
There are these tombstone-looking thing surrounding the entire baby pink house. One of them there has this giant plum tree carved into the stone. And next to that are 7 bottles of soju, like vodka, opened. The soju's still in there. This is not litter. It looks like an offering of sorts. The reporters, they start looking, and the plum blossom tree, a lot of them note, sometimes this could be used for shamanistic practices. It means blessings, but this is clearly not a regular shamanistic building. It feels like there's a lot of dark energy here. It feels like someone practicing dark shamanism, which in that case, the plum blossom is associated with lethal power and as conduits for rituals involving malevolent spirits. Back in the day, people would use plum trees, load up all their misfortunes. So like if you had bad luck, you get a plum tree, you put all your bad luck in there. You do a ritual where you take all of your misfortune, put it into the plum tree, and then bury it with dead people. So in the afterlife, these deceased people will have your bad luck. You're passing it on. And they can't even say no because they're deceased in this world.
So
There's various stone pillars around the house. Then surrounding those carvings, you have these steel flag poles without flags. And if you look closely, there's a lot of dragon emblems. Dragons are usually closely associated with kings. Typically, only the royal family and associated high officials were allowed to use dragon motifs in their clothing. That's it. And then lastly, you just see this puffer jacket just hanging outside. Nobody's wearing it. It's not
Kinks?
hanging like
What?
outside of this pink house. Outside of the pole.
Pardon?
On like a
Delete, that's the first thing
with
you're gonna say?
basket chairs, but it doesn't look
I heard
like,
kinks.
oh, I was wearing my puffer jacket, but it got
No.
hot, so I threw it on the chair. It looks like intentional.
Let's go back.
In shamanism, it's usually a family. Dragons are usually closely associated with kings. Typically, only the
Kings.
royal family
If
and
I'm gonna send you a
associated
Google
high
Drive
officials
link
were
of
allowed
fresh
to use
packs.
dragon motifs in their clothing. That's it.
Okay.
And then lastly, you just see this puffer jacket just hanging out.
Yeah, kings.
Nobody's wearing it. It's not hanging like outside of this pink house. Outside of the poles. On like a stand. Like one of those basket chairs. But it doesn't look like, oh, I was wearing my puffer jacket, but it got hot, so I threw it on the chair. It looks like intentional. In shamanism, it's usually a warning to outsiders. This is our
Oh, thank you. I got it.
Many
Colonel.
shamanistic experts had
Thank you.
back and forth conversations.
They're too big
What does the pink
to
mean?
send
Are
via
you sure
Discord.
the
Ah,
plum
okay, I
blossom tree
gotcha.
is the dark shamanism? What does this building symbolize? What does this mean? There's so much
In case
back
you
and
were
forth.
wondering why
But
Google
one thing
Drive.
people
Gotcha,
notice is that
gotcha.
this pink color looks so oddly similar to another case that we covered, the Samsung Mall collapse. It's
Oh.
a department store in South Korea that collapsed in the middle of the
I
day
remember
with
that
close
one.
to 1,500 shoppers and staff all getting trapped. Ultimately, 502 people died in the collapse.
God dang it, though. Okay, let me quickly see if I can get them. What do you mean? Okay, why is this a thing? Hello? Okay, I've got, in case you're wondering, okay, I've got Rostra, Sindor, Gana, Slain, Photoshop, Master, and Marcus Bushi. Rostra, Sindor, Ganevs, and the Photoshop Marcus are the biggest, so take a look at download just an FYI. Okay, thank you. Huh? Okay, I think I'll have to deal with that, and I for sure paid for these and didn't steal them. Okay, you better have, because I don't want them to trace me back to this crime. I don't want to be partners in crime here, okay? Okay, I think I'll mess with it afterwards. um, look, I need to concentrate.
The
Too many things are happening at the same time. Okay, sorry.
mall's outside exterior was painted the exact same baby pink color.
Freaking kidding me.
And now there's this temple in the middle of nowhere. And what were the names outside? Yoon Seok-yeol and Kim Gun-hee. Why are the names of the South Korean president and the first lady outside this temple? And is it just a coincidence that they live in the apartment building built on top of this Hampoong department store collapse?
What?
This is the current ongoing case of the newly impeached South Korean president and the first lady. We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. They are volunteer-based and provide free medical care and humanitarian aid to thousands of children. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team, and we would also like to thank our listeners for your continued support. As always, full show notes are available at RottenMangoPodcast.com. Disclaimer, this case has super brief mentions of animal abuse. There is discussion surrounding shamanism, and I just want to be clear, I would 100% support freedom of religion, spirituality, beliefs, and any support comments or criticisms are not ours. And also, I do think, even with more widely accepted mainstream religions, there's always limits to it. I think freedom of religion and spirituality is great until you're harming other people. This is also not an analysis or a think piece regarding Korean or even US politics. We're just merely covering the current events that have shaken South Korea recently and reporting on what's been happening because everybody has been requesting it. Oh, and another thing, I do think that the title of president is one that should be earned through trust by the people. Many times in this episode, I'm going to be referring to people by their highest political titles, not because I think they're necessarily deserving of that respect, but just to highlight how corrupt some of these people are. Because how can you be in the highest office and commit these types of crimes? So with that being said, let's get started. Why would someone suddenly start using 75 times more water in their house? Are you taking 75 times more showers? This is what South Korean citizens are debating all week long. According to Seoul City's Seoul Water 2023 data, the average weekly water usage for a two-person household is about 3 tons of water, so like 804 gallons of water. But for the past 7 days, a full week after impeached President Yoon and First Lady Kim are dismissed from the presidential residence in South Korea, they use over 75 times the average consumption of water.
Is this about the
75
female
times.
South Korean president who was using her friend as a shaman or
In their-
something?
with their
I'm hearing about
blue
it.
house.
I
They live in a
think.
different residential
I mean, I haven't
complex.
heard about the.
So you're saying
Probably.
after they were impeached,
Yes.
their water like usage became 75 times more.
Than the average two-person household.
Dang,
So now
Kendall,
there's
you're so
debate because
informed.
This information is released to the citizens.
I had no idea.
Very clear
Anything
that
was happening
they
over there?
have 75 times their water usage, or maybe they're just water wasters from the day that they took office. It's unclear, but the fact that these reports were released have citizens in a freaking chokehold. I mean, instead of 804 gallons, they use 60,193 gallons of water in a week. What the hell do you need that much water for? You would quite literally need to have 15 faucets running at once for over 24 hours to use that amount of water. Netizens start speculating, what the hell? What are they using it for? And the main speculation is drugs. Why else do you need that much water? Think about it. Unless you're watering down and flushing drugs down the drain. Videos start going viral with borderline conspiracy theories that tie the president and his wife to one of the biggest drug smuggling operations in South Korea. To which other netizens are arguing, no, I mean, yeah, he was impeached. However, do you think that really only they live there? I'm sure security guards, staff, probably more than 100 people live in that house. Of course, the amount of water is going to be used.
Feel free to
Others
ask me any
disagree,
questions if you need
stating,
help. It's
No, they wouldn't
Yes,
release
thank
this
you.
information if it didn't mean something. Another
I will
comment.
definitely ask.
To me, I think it's either going to be drugs or animal sacrifices, which is kind of random. But they talk about bloodletting. It's when you have to make an animal bleed out, and that's how they die. And that's typically reserved for really dark, frowned upon shamanistic practices. So does this come out of nowhere? Why do so many citizens just assume the president and the first lady are either cartel level drug dealers or doing animal sacrifices in the presidential
Oh wait, that's
residence?
not where
Do you
that
know
would
how
go.
to predict the president? Okay, so forget about the policies. Sometimes it's rather simple. They say it's height. Since the 1900s, the taller of the two candidates has almost frequently won presidential elections, to the point where researchers think that we must have some sort of unconscious bias. The taller one must be better in our eyes. The US has not elected a president that was below the average national height for the past 120 years.
Dang.
You're just telling me there's not a good short politician? Maybe, maybe not.
No tweet today. No, cause that's on my
But
iPad.
we're more niche than that. We can't be that easy to control. That's crazy. Some say it's body language and speech cadence. Former President Barack Obama, for one, when he's talking, he probably has the best usage of hand gestures. He will literally point using his thumb and index finger to point out the point that he's making. He's quite literally making a point. When he talks about time spans or spectrums, he will do wave-like hand motions. It signals to the audience subconsciously that his nonverbal communication and his verbal communication is perfectly in sync, which makes him perceived as more trustworthy. It's that. It's height. Sometimes they study the pitch of the voice, with voters generally preferring lower-pitched voices, deeper voices. People have even spent their whole careers studying rhythms of politicians' speeches and cadence. There are people that will go word for word, and they also study word usage. Each president's presidential feel is going to be a unique blend of a ton of different elements. I mean, should this be why they're voted in? No, but it just seems like something people study because why is it happening? Like the fact that apparently voters like the words heart, hand, journey, dream, rather than more conceptual words like commitment, help, endeavor, idea. Side note, I do want to mention charisma does not mean someone is likable or charming. It just means that they have a personal ability to arouse loyalty or enthusiasm out of others. It doesn't mean they're a good person or that they're so likable. People can be very divisive and charismatic, like cult leaders. And speeches are where people can easily compare these candidates. With JFK being considered one of the greatest orators of all time, he's probably known as the quintessential charismatic president. Ronald Reagan, his speeches are heavily studied. His cadence is known as campfire storytelling. The way he talks, it sounds like he's at a campfire. Bill Clinton, his speeches are always more conversational. Studies show that the audience always felt like he was talking one-on-one with them during a presidential race. He's the type that looks very at ease talking to leaders, but also just random retail workers at the diner. They say his cadence style is Southern porch talk. It's likely that he practiced this, there are speculations, when he says America. Sometimes it comes off more like America versus America to sound more folksy. And of course, Barack Obama, analysis state that he was never as comfortable as like Bill Clinton with crowd work. That's what they call it. So they say after the speeches, when you
But
see
why are
Obama
you
working
booing?
with the crowd, he's nowhere near as charismatic as Clinton, but his speeches usually are better perceived. His body language during it, his voice, he never loses his cool composure. That comes off very passionate, compassionate, but also in control. They say his cadence almost has this jazz-like quality to it. So a lot of people speculate the reason why Americans hate politics so much right now, amongst obviously every other major reason.
Oh, I get it, but
But it
sorry.
might be that there's just really no good candidates with great charisma, is what some studies are saying. We've kind of walked away from that. Presidential speechwriters, they will even work on making sure someone comes off charismatic. They will write pauses into each president's
Where do you go?
speech. Usually the rule being, do not pause longer than 3 seconds or else you risk
Off
losing
screen,
the
you know?
audience. And some presidents, they like to mix up the rhythm. So there's like 3 different types of rhythms you could go with.
I
So
got
for example,
that.
the words, it's time to heal. Pause. To build. But there's also, it's time to heal.
You guys are so weird.
It's time to build.
He
Then
is
there's
oohing
it's time
with
to
you.
heal, to build, to conquer.
Pulling up.
It's like there's very different structures to
Ay,
say
ay,
the
ay.
same thing. Others prefer repeating opening sentences. We will face challenges. We will overcome them. Sometimes it's a triple structure. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. It's all about the rhythm. They say the best speeches for presidents are actually only 50% substance, 25% storytelling, and 25% rhetorical flourishes. Rhythm, cadence-driven, rhythm-driven viral sound bites. That's what they're looking for. So May 10th, 2022, the 20th presidential inauguration ceremony takes place in South Korea, where one of the most controversial candidates is about to take office. Some notable attendees are the former First Lady, the wife of the 17th President Lee. Unfortunately, her husband, former president, could not make it as he is in prison for corruption. And the prosecutor that put him in prison is the new president. Another notable attendee, Park Geun-hye, the 18th president of South Korea.
Boing boing.
She was
Oh,
able
they're
to
just
make it
calling
even
you
though she was
weird
impeached
streamer.
for corruption.
I called both
and the
you
prosecutor that
and
investigated her
Karen weird.
is also now the president. Then the former president and his wife, Moon Jae-in, this is the last president. Thankfully, they were both able to make it. However, they are both being currently investigated. So please stand for the newly elected president and the new first lady of South Korea. President Yoon comes in dressed like any other person in the room, honestly. But the first lady comes in dressed all in white with a white matching face mask. Her stature, she's very petite. The way she dresses, the way she does her hair, it's very reminiscent of like a Korean Jackie Kennedy. You would almost think that this is her inauguration, the way she walks in.
Why is she wearing a mask?
This is around, well, it's 2022.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Now the president takes the stage, and his very first speech as the new president of South Korea, he leans into the microphone. Based on the values of freedom, human rights, fairness, and solidarity, I will steadfast create a country where the people are the true masters. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, Stephanie. I just always freeze your face on a weird one. Okay, Karen, how do I move her to like the corner and like make her smaller? Where'd you go? Okay, lasso. Is this? How do you lasso? Wait. Above the symbol on the left. Left. This one? It looks like a lasso, kinda. Oh wait. Did you just clear our fatty? No! That's no! I did not call my own art. I said, I don't remember what I said, but I didn't call her fatty. Oh my god. I'm so OP. Next to the eye drop. Okay. This one? What about it? What do I do? It's auto select. With the lasso selected, draw around it. Okay. Wait, it's that. A circle. I can't. Huh? Wait, I don't. Auto select section. Help me. Oh. A circle, the YouTube video is kind of okay. Let me get it out of the way. Wait, that's not okay. Zoom, move, operation, move layer. Can you minimize it? Yeah, I get. Yo, what happened to our face? So once you have the lasso select, just draw a circle around the drawing. Like little, it looks like a wand, the thingy. Me. I'm missing. Okay, real quick. Yeah, wait, I'm sorry. It's really bad at technology, you know this. Click on window. Window? What's window? Wait, like... It's a damn... Oh. A file? I don't know, wait, I found it. Here, let me just use my mouse for you. I'm crying! Shut up, leave me alone. Okay. I'm clicking it. Okay. Click on subtool. Okay, let me see. Okay, subtool detail. Okay. Refer to editing layer only. Click on lasso. Says. It just says fill reference and anti-aliasing. No, not the subtool detail. Okay. Case canvas, workplace, command bar, quick access tool, subtool. Ah, okay, subtool. Okay, gotcha. Oh, what is that? What happened? What is that? It's there. A lasso box. Now what? Wait, I mean... Ooh. It's creepy. What am I doing? Just... click it. Ah! Okay, deselect that. How do I do? What on the top of the small bar? Okay, button on the left of the small bar. Okay. Deep breath. No, I feel like I'm so annoying right now. Sorry. I don't know what Jesus. No, wait. No worries, I got time. Okay, sorry. Okay, what am I supposed to click to deselect? Oh, Jesus Christ. Click on something else, baby. You know what, guys? Is it below the canvas? Yeah. Oh, this what you're telling me? Oh yeah, okay. There. Yes. Ooh. Okay, so I deselected it. Okay. Click on window. Okay. Clicked on window. Subtool. lasso. Is it this? I don't. Did you know? Question mark. Ah, what? What? Oh, I'm doing so many things that I was not supposed to do. Okay, hold on. What did I click? Oh no. Okay. Okay, there's that. Subtool. Delete, shrink, expand, invert, crop. Something like that should pop out. Gonna paste. Is it scale and rotate? No. Sent on Discord. Okay, hold on. Selection area. Huh, it's not popping up for some reason. Yeah, it's just auto select for some reason. Okay, subtool selection area. Clear. Try pressing M. That might be the best hotkey. Okay, oh, I think I see it. It's just really tiny for some reason. Aha, yeah, I see it. Wait. We said we gotta lasso it. Oh, that was it. Ah, okay, just. Nope. This is scale and rotate. This is taking me way too long. Scale and rotate, okay. Thank you so much. Like, I'm such a drag. Why are there 4 people watching me when I'm not doing anything right? Is this fun to you people? Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much. This is embarrassing.
Crazy. And President Zoom's wife, Mercedes,
I'm gonna jump off of those. No, please.
I don't know why I hate it. Listen, but society just loves.
If you leave, what am I gonna do?
I want to see her clapping and smiling like, I love my husband. I love this great country. But something about her, she's just stoic.
I gotta do some dishes. Okay, hurry back. Because I will explode. Okay.
She's not cheery. She's not that, oh my gosh, I love baking cookies for Christmas. She just looks as if she's deep in thought.
Oh. What, delete?
December
What?
2024. It's like the
You did it.
biggest concert in the world. Just
Mhm.
a sea of people
I
out in the
lived.
cold in their puffer jackets. This is December in Korea. It's like snowing. There's filling the entire
Wait.
street. Multiple blocks are shut down to the point where you think, is every major K-pop idol performing at this concert? It doesn't make sense. There's old people, there's young people. They're
Wait, why is-
holding up light sticks. There's this massive stage with a screen, and they're blasting K-pop.
You're talking about the
Did it? That was
Christmas
short.
one, December
What do you mean? You thought I was gonna
December 2024.
Oh,
Yeah, it's before Christmas. Yeah.
take
But
an
they're
hour?
singing Christmas songs too. And you have this random old guy coming out to play his guitar and sing songs. And then you find out that this random old guy is a senator. And you're like, what's going on right now? And people have their light sticks and they're all buying coffee for each
Oh,
other.
I like this one better.
This is not a K-pop concert. This is a protest
Well,
in
okay.
South Korea.
Okay, buddy.
This is how Koreans protest.
K-pop song.
Yes, and it's like a sea of people all protesting.
I don't want to answer Bro.
Okay, and then sound music of playing like people's speakers, like just holding a speaker.
No, there's a whole stage. There's a sound team.
Don't
It's
look at me.
literally
Oh.
a concert. There's a giant screen. They're singing Feliz Navidad, but the new lyrics are Yoon Suk-yeol has to f off, then it's a Merry
Oh, dang.
Christmas. Kim Gun-hee has to get punished, then it's a Merry Christmas. The right wing has to be disbanded. Impeach him right now. Impeachment is the answer, else the country will be ruined. And then it's a Merry Christmas.
Okay.
And this all happened because previously, a few days prior, 3 helicopters, they just land on this big lawn. It's like near midnight. 3 helicopters side by side. It looks like an action movie. The doors open. You got teams of guys in camouflage running out. And this is all over the news. There's tanks coming down the street. There's more helicopters in the air and they're shining that little spotlight down as if they're looking for someone. And this is happening at the National Assembly building. There's a 70-year-old man wearing a mask and a hat, and it's cold. His hands are freezing. He called his wife before he came here, and he said, look, anything can happen. I don't know what's going to happen right now. Love you. Things are not looking very promising.
What is this?
He's like a 70-year-old man. He's trying to get into this building. He looks to his right. There's another old guy. All these young people are physically lifting him up and throwing him over the fence so that he can get into the building.
What?
There's thousands of people surrounding this place. I mean, people are having some very interesting interactions. A high-profile woman on mainstream news medias is being held at gunpoint. There's a rifle
Whoa.
pointed square at her chest, and she's pissed off. She grabs the rifle and pushes it off, and she's like, "Are you not ashamed of yourself?" She's talking to the soldier who just pointed a rifle at her.
She's not having it.
The soldiers have one order: go inside the National Assembly and occupy the building. Inside, National Assembly aides are trying to stop the soldiers, blocking them with furniture, sofas. They even resort to spraying them down with fire extinguishers. Citizens are trying to help block the paths of the tanks, and at the end, when the soldiers decide to leave, the group of protesters that were just screaming at them moments ago, that were just like, "Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Good work tonight, get home safe, good work.
What?
Keep your heads up, our sons."
Our sons.
Yeah, the whole thing is so strange. Like, what are we doing here? What is happening? Is this staged? It is because December 3rd, 2024, President Yoon of South Korea delivers one of the most important presidential speeches in South Korean modern history. At 11:27 p.m. Dear respected citizens, as
Are you not
president,
ashamed of
I
yourselves?
appeal to you with
What do you
a heart
mean?
full
What-
of
what-
sorrow.
why?
I appeal to you with the feeling of spitting out blood. The state administration is
calling me stream right,
paralyzed,
so I
and
don't
the
like
thoughts of
it.
Our citizens are deepening. Now, our National Assembly
Calling me
has become
grief.
a den of criminals, paralyzing the nation's judicial and administrative systems through legislative dictatorship and planning for the overthrowing of our liberal democratic system. The National Assembly, which should be the foundation of liberal democracy, has become a den of criminals and is attempting to destroy the system.
I
Now,
call you what you are.
South Korea is in a precarious situation where it would not be surprising.
Which is
if
okay,
it
but
collapsed.
what am I supposed to be ashamed of,
In
huh?
summary, the president of South Korea is accusing the opposition party. So President Yoon is very right-wing. Even out of the right wings, he's ultra-conservative. Super conservative. He gets voted in In the opposition party, I guess
What do you want
the
from me?
Democrats, if you will, they have control over the National Assembly, so they're not letting any of his bills pass. But now he is accusing them of being North Korean spies, North Korean
That's not like a cold learn, not gonna lie. For real.
and they just want to destroy South Korea.
Loki
from the
feels like it
inside.
too, not
He
gonna
says,
lie.
to protect the safety of the people, the following is hereby declared throughout the Republic of Korea as of 11 p.m. on December 3rd, 2024. Martial law is declared. All political activities, including the National Assembly, are prohibited. He's saying no lawmakers can come together. 2. All acts that deny or attempt to overthrow the system are prohibited. Fake news, public opinion manipulation, prohibited. 3. All media and publications are subject to the control of the martial law command. Basically censorship. 4. Strikes, work stoppages, rallies, prohibited. All medical personnel, doctors who are on strike or have left their medical job, must return to their jobs within 48 hours. Those who violate will be punished according to the martial law. He's saying anyone who doesn't follow this will be arrested, detained, searched without a warrant, interrogated, and God knows what. He says, as president, I sincerely appeal to you. I will dedicate my life to protecting the Free Republic of Korea. Please believe in my heartfelt loyalty to you, the people. Please trust in me. Thank you. And with that, all hell breaks loose. I mean, technically, anybody could get a death sentence, could disappear, all in the name and excuse of protecting the country, with one researcher stating, I mean, no matter who you voted for, it doesn't matter your political affiliation. Martial law in this day and age in South Korea is nonsense. I mean, you even have to wonder, was this President Yoon's entire plan all along get voted in so that he could take complete control? I mean, President Yoon is a pretty divisive president. He wins the election by just 0.8%. That's not even a full percentage. He isn't even particularly popular, but the people who love him will die for him. And I guess here we are, right? He was known as a career prosecutor who is known to play by the books. When you ever meet those people, you like play a game of Monopoly with them. I mean, you're just learning how to play. You make a mistake and they're like, no, the rules are the rules. It's like too serious. That was the initial public perception that people had. Until you find out that he failed the bar exam 9 times.
Whoa.
And he's just not that bright, you know? But a lot of people who are already very right-leaning, ultra-conservative, they love the fact that he was not a career politician. This is his first political role other than being a prosecutor. Like, this is his first public office held. Even though, generally speaking upon, it's kind of frowned upon in Korea for former prosecutors to run for higher office because prosecutors are supposed to be politically neutral. And so if you run, you have to go with a party and then, you know, you're mixing in with a bunch of other people that could try to bribe you later. A lot of people were not happy about this election, but they kind of soothed themselves with the idea of, well, he's kind of a lame duck, isn't he?
A what?
And the Democrats, they've got the National Assembly majority, so like, what is he gonna do? He's not gonna be able to do anything. He's just gonna sit there pretty, and that's it. But he does some very ominous things. One of the biggest things during his campaign trail, October 1st, 2021, presidential candidate Yoon goes viral. On his left hand, first of all, is a very pricey looking watch, yes, but also there is a word written on his palm. So he's talking, he's doing a debate, and it's almost like someone drew with a Sharpie one symbol. It's the Chinese symbol for king. Why the hell would you write king on your palm? You're not writing strength, courage, good luck, president, servant, for the people.
Is it?
It's hanja, so it's traditional Korean, yes. But a lot of like, I guess, Western sources call it the Chinese symbol for king. But it's Korean hanja. Yeah. So they use the hanja, and it's king. Why the hell does someone write king on their palm while running for president?
Oh, sponsor time for Stephanie.
Learning about investing when I was freshly 18, 19 years old was one of the best financial decisions that I've ever made. Investing isn't just Wall Street and rich clients. Everyone can invest, and it is the best time to learn because April is Financial Literacy Month. That's right, so they've made this whole month reminding you to finally take control of your money. And good news is, you don't need 30 days. Acorns makes it easy to start saving and investing for your future in just 5 minutes. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that matches you and your money goals. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got
Reduce
right now. Even if
Succumb
all
to
you've got
capitalism
is
streamer.
savings.
Why are you making us watch
Sign up
ads?
now and join the over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $25 billion with
Because I don't
Acorns.
have.
Head to acorns.com.
I don't want to
to
jump from one place to another. I'm trying to draw, bro.
Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 4 compensation provided. Investing involves risks. Acorn Advisors LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/rock. A reporter that same year goes to meet with the future First Lady, Kim, at her office. There's this massive meeting table. It's very large. It's a conference table length, and she ushers this reporter in, seats him at the head seat, man of the house seat. And to his right, there's two men. To his left, there's two women. And this is probably the most fascinating conversation that he's ever been involved in. They are acting like he is God who is walking down back on earth. They're treating him like the king right now. This reporter. And it's making him feel good about himself. Meanwhile, all he has ever done is write shit pieces against the future First Lady and her husband, presidential candidate Yoon. Meanwhile, future First Lady Kim, she's just laying on a daybed in the office, right next to him. She's just laying there on her side, like a beautiful French lady. That type of energy.
Wait, hold on. Kim
Yes.
is the first lady, right? But this is prior to
Yes.
them winning the election.
Mm-hmm.
And she invited
Invites-
a reporter that
Yes.
hates her,
Uh-huh.
and then she's laying next to him.
Uh-huh. And this is the very first meeting, and her whole team is treating him like he's the world's best reporter that has ever existed. And he's so confused, but also it's kind of working. He feels good. I mean, you would think that these two have been best friends since high school and they're just seeing each other again. That's the level of casualness in which First Lady Kim is directing herself. This is their first meeting. And she's laying on her side, she's giggling, getting up, pouring him more alcohol. He says, after drinking, my face got a bit red and I put my hand on the table, and she suddenly yanks it towards her body. So she's pulling his hand. Naturally, his body is going towards her. And she announces to the staff, hey guys, I'm gonna read his palm, see if I'm right or not. She's studying the lines on his palm. This oppa is gonna do really well in the future. He's a married man, but he has a woman on the side.
Ooh.
Reporter Lee is like yanking his hand out because what do you mean? Where would I even have a woman on the side? I don't even have time to meet women. He says, behind me, I could hear the other two female employees chuckling, giggling, and then they start reading out his palm, and First Lady Kim states he's really good at night activities. And all the girls start giggling and tapping him on the shoulder. Night activities, as in intimate relations.
Yeah, we got that, girl.
Reporter Lee says he feels so uncomfortable he just wants to leave. He finally comes up with an excuse. Kim follows him out, shoves an envelope in his pocket for the taxi ride home. When he opens it up in the taxi, it's 21 $50 bills. It's the 50,000 won bill. In Korea, it's the highest bill.
So how much is that?
I guess if you do the conversion to USD, it's like $721. That is way, I mean, what is he, taxing to America? Well, why does he need $724? Even if she was paying him for his time, he was only there for 30 minutes. He thought, well, maybe this is nothing to her. Maybe she's that rich. I'm just so confused. Also, 21 bills feels very specific.
Yeah.
October 29th, 2022, another case that we covered. At a Halloween celebration in Itaewon, Seoul, 159 people died in a crowd crush incident in a small alleyway. We did an episode on it, probably one of the worst tragedies in modern South Korean history. But the new conspiracies have popped up. Honestly, this is very controversial and incredibly traumatizing, but a lot of netizens feel like there might be some truth to it because of how crazy everybody's been acting. With the sentiment and conspiracy being, if President Yoon didn't wish for a tragedy like this to happen, maybe he's using it after the fact to gain energy and strength through dark shamanistic practices. October 28th, the day before the Itaewon crush incident, a man named Chun Kong, a shaman, goes online to make a video. Do our young people
What?
have anything to do now? No. What do they do when they have nothing to do? Youth is a time when energy is burning. When energy is burning and there's nothing to do, if you're not given anything to do, what happens? They go around doing all sorts of things. So they go dancing. And since young people gather there, they go there. Young people are drinking there, I drink too. If they do drugs, I do them too. An enormous amount of drugs are coming into Korea now. So I'm designing all that. And now what the government needs to do is crack down on all the incoming drug dealers before this gets bigger, before the organization gets bigger. And he goes on and on. But like any war, the war on drugs usually needs a catalyst for the government to crack down.
Did you see the
This is
president
one
gaining power
day
by
before the Itaewon
shamanic
tragedy.
practices? Yeah.
The next day after the Itaewon incident, Chun Gong tells his followers that, quote, the young people who were sacrificed in the Itaewon tragedy gave our country an opportunity.
What?
Crazy to say.
Those good opportunities will keep coming. Even if our children sacrifice themselves, they need to sacrifice themselves with this kind of mass numbers for the world to feel it. This is being arranged now. We must make our children's sacrifices worthwhile. We need to use this opportunity well and do something that shines in the world. It is believed that this specific shaman believes that death and the time of death and people dying could be an energy ritual. It's not just that
What are you
people
watching
are
too?
dead 'cause
I'm
what could
watching,
possibly get out of that. He is saying that the energy
Most hated First Lady Korean president locked down country because wife doesn't want to go to prison. That's what we are watching.
the mass grief that everybody feels. It's something that you can manipulate.
Also, we could switch to Spotify, just Spotify, but the ads go crazier there, you know?
And turn into fortune for one party or another. And what does this random shaman have to do with President Yoon? It is alleged that this is the First Lady Kim and President Yoon's shaman choice. Which again, insane, right? But people start noticing strange things, such as the fact that the president and the government forbid the victims' families from hanging portraits of the victims at the National Memorial. Their names were forbidden to show up anywhere at the official memorial. A lot of people hated the official memorial for how cold it felt. However, for multiple days straight, President Yoon, the president of South Korea, came every single day to leave chrysanthemums. To which some people were thinking, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Is he like feasting off this energy or something? He won't let the families have a proper memorial, but he comes every day? For what?
Yeah, what's his reason for not allowing photos or
He said it was too quick to organize with every victim's family if they consented to photos, if they consented to names. But most of the families were like, no, we want that. And then, 9 days after the Itaewon incident, President Yoon moves into the presidential residence, away from the Blue House. He does not move into the Blue House, which is like the White House of South Korea.
God, is she the
He moves
conspiracy
into the
theorist?
Defense Ministry building.
No, she just...
he went from Blue House to there?
No, he goes from
Okay, so Ron Mango or Stephanie, she like covers like the most popular, I guess you could say, yeah, theories or whatever. But she just covers like true crime, you know? Okay.
from his personal apartment that is built on top of Sampoong Mall Collapse to this defense ministry building. He does not want to move to the Blue House.
Like unprompted.
This was one of the first things that he does as president. He said that he was going to spend $30 to $40 million of taxpayer money to live in the defense ministry compound. He claims that him not moving into the Blue House is him rejecting the traditional presidential residence because it's symbolic of imperial power. He said he wants to feel connected with the people. Nobody believes that. They think it's shamanism. And it's very interesting because people say, wait, I feel like the defense ministry building has way darker history. That area was Japan's military headquarters during the colonial period. Before that, a lot of kings would bury their concubines in that region, so there's history in that area. There's even rumors that there's a massive gravesite under the Ministry of National Defense office. Why would he want to move there over the plush, beautiful blue house? The palace. A lot of people say President Yoon and First Lady Kim believe the entire Blue Palace has bad feng shui. Now, to be fair, feng shui can be, at times, perspective. Some people say the location of the Blue House is pretty good. There's mountains up north, there's a river in the south, all finished off with this stone monument that claims this is the most blessed place on earth. But, I will say, nobody really believes it, because every single president that's been in there, I mean, the best fate that you can get after serving as president of South Korea is to be wealthy and normal. Not dead,
Wealthy.
not investigated for corruption, not impeached, and not in prison. Those are usually the more popular options. Geographically, there's a lot about the new presidential residence that the Blue House doesn't have, like typical good feng shui. So they move 7 days after the Itaewon tragedy with a $5,000 cat tower that they bought. They bought this cat tower that cats
what?
climb on top of. It was $5,000. They buy this full new bathtub, high quality Hinoki cypress starting at $17,000. I mean, there's a lot of people who think, what is happening right now?
Like they're furnishing this new military base.
Yes. But like, how do they even know that the new presidential residence is luckier than the Blue House? There's a strong connection between the First Lady Kim and the number 5. It's said that her phone number has a lot of 5s, her car license plate has a lot of 5s. It is believed that in shamanism, the number 5 symbolizes balance and harmony. It's supposed to represent the 5 elements, the 5 directions, and the 5 colors. It's good to keep the natural and spiritual forces in order because of the protection it provides, and it's going to bring good fortune. 5 gods, 5 elements. It's believed that she also subscribes to the idea of the big flow of energy. Like, you know how there's wind patterns? Bad luck, negative energy cycles also flow in certain directions. Positive, good energy flows also flows in certain directions. They have expressions like a virtuous cycle or a vicious cycle. And to receive the highest level of luck, the First Lady and her alleged shaman allegedly map out Seoul. So they start with their original home being the southern point, because this is where they became president. Then they draw a line. So this is Acro Vista apartment complex.
How do we know these? Or
A lot of shaman experts came out and said these are the people that she's associating with, allegedly, and these are like the types of things that they do. So they start with Acro Vista, the original residence, their personal residence, private residence. Then they draw a line straight to what they call the central line of the earth, which lands at Itaewon Station. Directly north of that is the Blue Palace. And then that's one straight line, up, down, right? Then if they start at Itaewon, the middle point in the center, the central line, then they go directly left to the west, you run into the presidential office. Then you go from Itaewon Station directly right, it's the Defense Ministry, the new presidential residence. They believe the flow of energy is going to come positively towards them. It brings out a cross. So prior to their presidency, years ago in South Korea, in Gangnam, there was this massive pink building, the mall, Samsung department store that collapsed and killed 500 people. If you've been to Korea, you've probably driven by that site. It's quite literally smack dab in the middle of Gangnam. Now instead of a memorial, there's 3 massive buildings. Acro Vista Complex, high-end residential homes. 37 stories tall each. When you drive past it, when they're just sitting neatly on the street, the building structures themselves look more like hotels than your typical Korean apartment building. It's very expensive. In between each building, you've got park-like green areas and trees. There's a separate facility called Acro Vista Arcade where you can just walk out of your apartment, go find banks, restaurants, markets, cafes, pharmacies, convenience stores. There's been debates, so many debates. Is this building haunted or not? Some people would say it's the safest building in the entire country. What are the odds that 2 buildings at the same place collapse? This building will probably be the last building in the world to collapse. Other people say this is the worst building to be in because you don't know. I mean, let's say if you believe in spirituality and your soul, You're gonna build a home on top of all of these souls whose lives were taken abruptly because of government corruption, because they didn't have the right regulations for this mall. But some shamans believe this is the best energy you can have. When souls are trapped in an area, they give off a lot of energy. And if they are to move to the afterlife, you can send things with them. You can send your misfortune. You can send your pain away with them. But some citizens
kinda creepy.
think that's crazy. Maybe they just moved in there because it's a nice apartment complex. I will say a lot of people felt that way.
I'm back,
Until
sister.
some random things start
Hello.
overlapping. President Yoon announces his candidacy to run for president on June 29th, 2021, on the exact anniversary of the Samsung department store collapse. And where he makes the announcement is called the Citizen Forest, where they were originally planning to have the Samsung department store collapse memorial. And then you've got the pink temple that they built in the mountains, allegedly.
Wait, so that temple, what's going on?
It's still there. That's
I'm laughing my.
Park Geun-hye's
What do you
mom.
mean creepy?
First Lady Kim's mother is
the-
released from prison and she goes
Like
there.
you can use
And
the
on the little lanterns,
dead
you've
people
got
to, like,
President Yoon's name.
take,
You've got Kim Geun-hye, First Lady Kim's
like
name.
regrets and stuff or
So
bad
she
luck.
She released from prison like recently.
I don't like
Yes.
to mess with
And she
the
goes straight for
occult.
that,
Yeah.
and then do some kind of
Yes.
rituals.
Mhm.
And that space is still there. Nobody knows exactly what's going on. It's just a pink block
Yeah.
in the mountains.
Yeah. I mean, some people think there's just no way he doesn't know what day it is, considering he lives in the apartment building built on top of the collapse. But others see it as maybe it's just an unfortunate coincidental overlap. How do we know? But other people say there have been so many strange things. The king written on his hand, even admittedly in one secretly recorded phone call with a reporter. First Lady Kim is heard saying, I can see better than most clairvoyants. There's a rumor that's somewhat incorrect. I don't go to shamans to have my fortune told. I can read shamans better than they can. I study the 4 pillars of destiny so that I know my own fate. The 4 pillars of destiny is a bit different from shamanism.
is
It's
this
kind
video
of like reading a
serious? I
birth
thought it was
chart.
just
It's analyzing a person's fate,
the
life path
type.
based on their birth year, birth month, birth day, and birth hour.
No,
pretty
it's
common.
real.
It's like finding the cosmic energy at the time that you were born, and the idea that you
Parody,
cannot escape
no.
your destiny. Nobody can, so you might as well lean into it. Which, okay, fine, but it does get weirder. It is alleged that Kim Geun-hye kept Jugo straw dolls, which are kind of reminiscent of like Western voodoo dolls, and they would have their opponents' names on there, allegedly, and they would stick daggers into the straw dolls. Apparently, First Lady Kim would hold these ritual ceremonies where she would place a Jugo straw doll representing someone that she hates, put them in a giant bucket of ice, and when the ice
Makes
melts,
them more
the
hilarious.
doll is slowly getting submerged until they slowly drown in this now melted ice bucket of water and then sink to the very bottom.
And where did that? Just an allegation? Just a rumor?
Yes, sources of people who knew her prior to her running, or her husband running for president. It is believed that she partakes in rituals where you hold funerals for living people as a way of cursing them.
Oh,
And who
what?
knows? I mean, I guess if any of this is true, they could argue that it worked. Because now they are president. And they're moving into this new residence, not the blue house, that appears to be walking distance, 7-minute walking distance, 0.4 miles away from
I really need to find a
mountain
brush
goal.
that
During President
is
Yoon's
better
run
for me.
presidency, he's asked about whether or not he knows of Tun Gong personally, the shaman. By the way, this shaman has some crazy hair. He's got waist-length hair.
Wait.
That's all white. He looks like
Oh.
a shifu from a Chinese. That's. By the way, this shaman has some crazy hair. He's got
Whoa.
waist-length hair. That's
Look at
all
that hair,
white. He
dang.
looks like a shifu from a Chinese drama. And then you just like imagine him texting on a bus. And it's just, the vision is not there anymore. But to which he says, the president says, I met with him a few times with my wife. But Tun Gong has a completely different statement. He states, the First Lady has been listening to my lectures for 4 to 5 years now. She's listened on YouTube, like she studies my lectures. She liked it so much that she just kept listening and learning from it. He's a very interesting character.
There is such a history of Korean presidents
That's why
shamanism or these
Yes. Okay, so I think shamanism is pretty widely accepted in South Korea. I think if you go to a shaman, nobody really bats an eye. If you're doing some weird animal sacrifices rituals, yeah, people want you arrested. However, if you're like, hey shaman, come into this new apartment and like tinker tatter around and make it that I can make more money in here, people will do it. People like it. Or shaman, can you help my kid get into college? It's whatever. I think it's like therapy. You're easing your soul. You feel like you've put it up into the air now. But with this, people hate it. Korean citizens who might consult a shaman or two if they want, they absolutely hate the idea of politicians being associated with shamans. And the previous one that was very allegedly close to a shaman that might have been controlling a lot of the nation's decisions through the president is Park Geun-hye, the president of this Haewol Ferry disaster. She was impeached. She was thrown in prison for corruption.
It's heavily tied to
Yes.
shaman.
Yeah. Now, I will say Chun Gong does have a hard life. He was an orphan for 33 years, and then he went to the mountains in Ulsan. I don't know how true any of this is, but he states for the next 17 years, he was just absorbing energy and cosmic law from the mountains.
Okay.
In his YouTube video, he states, fundamentally, as we come from space to this Earth, we are living with 30% of our original energy. You know, what we call our soul, this soul is me. The soul is us, not the physical body. The soul resides within the physical body. This soul contains how much of your original energy? It is 30%. It's like meeting a word count. Then where is the remaining 70%? It resides in nature itself, in space, in our original homeland. I think we're all aliens. I don't know. That's our true homeland, he says. This place is not our true home. We have come to a distorted place. I hate that word. Why? Due to impurity. Why do humans live and work hard? And I don't know either, sir. I thought you were supposed to tell us.
Right.
In another oddly pessimistic video, he says, death doesn't exist at all. There is no death. Even if there is a word to describe it, death doesn't exist at all. Grand nature operates everything as energy. Do you die when you let go of your body after you've finished using it? No, you don't. Your flesh will return to grand nature as energy through microbial activity. The soul exists forever and all the energy in the universe is eternal. We transform as necessary to work in different environments.
Yo, you guys hearing this?
That's like the co-leader.
Yeah.
Yes. Also in another one he says, obesity stems from having complaints. Unsatisfied people become obese.
What?
When you meet high quality people, you will naturally eat high quality food. Thus, you should put some effort into developing yourself in the right way. If your health issues are not resolved in the hospital, that implies that you have character flaws. Your energy is circulating. If your energy is circulating well, your appearance improves. Higher quality people then become attracted to you, and as more people come to you, you receive their high quality energy and then develop even more high quality energy, and likewise. When people stay away from you, you feel lonely. Your appearance declines. You lack energy.
Actually.
Then you don't release, so you shrink. Even just like the old ladies with their rounded shoulders who are so small, even their acquaintances start getting shorter and rounder shoulders.
Bro.
And then you got everyone becoming like this.
Okay.
They also say
I
you can't make good friends by wanting to be friends. If you do, you will lose the upper hand in the relationship.
What?
You know, it's the law of accidents. If you don't reflect on yourself and learn a lesson from the small accident and continue to just live like before, then you'll have a bigger one. Why? Pain never comes if you live correctly. It only comes when you live wrongly. Accidents and illnesses operate like hospitals and prisons to restrain people. You're confined. You're confined and forced to reflect on yourself. It is there to guide you to think deeply without moving around.
Dude, what is this man on?
I mean, I think
Is
Bray
he like famous? Or like somewhat famous?
somewhat famous, but not much.
So why are people connecting it to the president? Like,
Because they've been seen around together.
Oh.
Yeah.
okay.
They're very well connected, and he said some pretty inflammatory things. You know, the Itaewon tragedy being the sacrifice for the greater good of the country being one. Additionally, he believes that North and South Korea will unite.
Oh,
He believes
okay.
in unification of the two countries. He says, I have proclaimed that the Korean Peninsula will be reunited in the fall of 2025. He's
Oh.
saying South and North Korea are going to be one country. He says Korea is the root of mankind, but the Korean peninsula is divided and the root is not playing its role. The conditions for reunification are now the best that they have ever been. The people of North Korea, our brothers and sisters, are in a very difficult situation. We have to take care of them so they do not have to suffer. We must leave something for humanity when Korea is reunified. The time has come for us to unify and do good work for the sake of human peace.
Okay.
He also says things like, you feed a hungry person, right? You're on the street, you feed a hungry person, and you think to yourself, I'm gonna get food.
Uh-huh.
But the society we are living in now no longer suffers from inadequate food supply. Those who lack food are lazy.
Oh.
They think they are smarter than they really are. They pick and choose their work. They are ungrateful for the work they are given.
Bro.
What happens if you give that kind of person food? You have done a very bad deed, and you will be punished. You should be punished for that. God put this person in that difficult situation because they're complaining about the work that is given to them and they're trying to avoid it. And now you have praised someone who deserves to be punished. So you will be punished.
Wow.
That's wild.
I mean, if he's this all-powerful knowing shaman that President Yoon and First Lady Kim believe in, how are they the most hated couple in the office in the first 100 days? In a presidential debate, a lot of sensitive topics tend to come up. But during this presidential debate with President Yoon being involved, he gets grilled about something very specific. Acupuncture. Have you done it or not? Apparently, an acupuncturist has been closely tied with President Yoon. During the campaign trail, sometimes he'd just be lurking very close to President Yoon. Clearly, this guy has security, so you can't just lurk around. It's clear that he's part of the inner circle in some capacity. So if you're wondering about what an acupuncture is, wonder no more. You stick needles inside the butt, inside, for 30 minutes
What?
at a time while you lay there and you just
Wait.
feel the electric current radiating to that region. You might have some uncontrollable twitching there, and you just feel the electric inside the butt. Inside, with an acupuncture.
Inside the butt?
Is wonder no more. You stick needles inside the butt. Inside.
Oh. Wait. Inside the butt? Wait. Wait, am I... Now I'm interested. Why are you so interested in weird things? Hold on, let me make... Y'all need to see this. This little diagram she has. What? Look at that. Shut your mouth. Shut up, Colonel. I can't. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Wait, I didn't know you could get acupuncture in your booty. I don't know why that is taking me out, please. Oh my god. Oh, okay, let's...
For 30 minutes at a time while you lay
30
there,
minutes?
you feel the electric current radiating to that region. You might have some uncontrollable twitching there, but that's
Will
what
leave
you
my
signed up
knees weak if I have it.
for. A specific acupuncturist filed a patent in 2013 for anal acupuncture stating that
Oh!
it treats neurological paralysis and prevents and treats strokes as well as dementia.
Oh? Really?
It's also believed that anal acupuncture is somehow tied to dark shamanism, which both President Yoon and First Lady Kim deny. But all citizens say, we saw what you did to that cow. In a small region
To
up
that
north
cow.
at this temple. In a small region up north, President Yoon's name is there hanging off a banner, and his title is there, so is First Lady Kim's names, and they are skinning a cow.
Ugh.
They're skinning the cow alive.
Ew.
And they're hanging the skin for display along with a stack of 10 dead pigs on stage for the ceremony.
Bro, what the?
Now, side note, this part
That's
is very
so sick.
graphic, but the cow is skinned alive. The cow is still
Ugh.
alive. The skin is hanging up on display, and the cow's eyes are wide open. The cow is foaming at the mouth. There's rods stuck into its back. The cow, again, is very much alive.
Oh god.
It is believed that the cow sacrifice, it was for the cow to take all of these sins and misfortunes from people's lives into the afterlife. The man that facilitated the
That's
sacrifice,
sick.
he was also seen around Yoon during the campaign trail. So Yoon starts getting grilled on social media with people demanding. I mean, Yoon says that you have no ties with shamans, but this doesn't make any sense.
And this is all happened during the election, right?
Yes.
There's some sacrifice of the cow
Yes.
during his whole campaign.
And this is very ironic considering First Lady Kim has made one of her biggest causes to ban the consumption of dog meat. She and President Yoon have no kids, just 12 pets, at least 6 dogs, 6 cats. And she's been seen a lot carrying around this vegan purse that every time she's seen carrying it, it keeps selling out. And it's great, but everybody's confused. You raise a dog, you make laws for dogs, but then you turn around and skin a live cow? The opposition leader states, in the 21st modern century in a country where nuclear
Would you ever eat
missiles
dog?
exist, there
No.
should never be such a case where a shaman interferes in or affects state affairs. State affairs are supposed to be for the benefit of the country, not shamanistic rituals of like, what about the energy? They have bombs. The energy of an atomic bomb is uncontrollable. Some citizens say, beyond that, sure, she likes dogs, but really, you think she actually likes dogs? Considering how much pain did she show for the victims of Itaewon? The first 100 days, President Yoon becomes one of the most disliked presidents to take office. His approval rating in the first 100 days was down to 24%. His previous predecessor, a Democratic leader, his approval rating after the first 100 days was 78%.
Why does this look like an anime mom?
His approval ratings were in like the 50s in the first 100 days. So this is pretty bad. And there's just a few scandals right out the gate that people have a hard time digesting. A lot of netizens don't like President Yoon's work-life balance. They say there's too much balance.
Good.
I mean, look at the promotion. Get your ass back in the office. Now, to provide some context, the government at the time wanted to
Didn't
reduce
ask.
maximum
I
weekly
didn't
working hours in
ask.
Korea from 52 hours to 69 hours. And they're like, well, you politicians better be working 90
In
hours
such
then.
conversation like that, I just
Of
sat
course,
down.
there were opposition parties that object to everything that you
I-
make him do. Like, there was this whole fuss
No,
about
man.
First Lady Kim holding President Biden's arm for a picture. Which, yeah, would I do that? Probably not. Is that the most media-trained thing to do? Probably not. But there's clearly more important things to worry about when it comes to our heads of state. It's further alleged that they would make military nurses and security guards act like hosts at their parties and gatherings, like to guard the door, to open the door, to serve food, I guess, which is crazy. And then September 2022, Queen Elizabeth II passes away. President Yoon, along with practically every single other foreign diplomat and world leader, shows up to London to pay his respects to the Queen, but he doesn't show up the day all
Strong
the
mom
leaders
advice coming
show
from
up.
this one.
He states it was due to traffic, to which opposition parties argue. Many people are wondering why he failed to offer condolences while the leaders of the United States, Canada, Japan, China, Brazil, and Ukraine, everybody in different levels of the world, in different countries, with countries that have more pressing issues, like Ukraine, going on, they showed up that day, and you didn't. You're making us look like a diplomatic failure. Others speculate, maybe he was intentionally late. A lot of shamans say that his spirit does not mix well with Western ghosts.
Oh,
I mean, I feel like some of these sound like fake sitcom news bites, but in another situation, at the UN General Assembly, President Yoon is seen speaking with then President Biden, and as he's leaving, he's got a hot mic on, which means the mic is still recording, like Korean press. And he is talking about Biden trying to get the United States to contribute more to the global fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. Biden has to get it through Congress. President Yoon says to his peers on the hot mic, how could Biden not lose face if they don't pass it in Congress?
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was,
What?
yeah, it also doesn't help that they're just,
Like he's saying, like, how is Biden not embarrassed?
yeah, he should be embarrassed, and then those fuckers in Congress
Yeah.
is crazy.
But at the same time, though, himself in South Korea.
Yeah, he's getting out by those fuckers in the National Assembly. I guess he would say it like that. Yeah, and I mean, to which Opponents naturally start freaking out, understandably, because this is considered a slanderous diplomatic accident that seriously tarnishes national dignity, which it does. And South Korea undeniably has some dependence with the United States. They have very close ties, and it also doesn't help that Yoon
There you
is
go. Couldn't know that's for you.
ultra-conservative, and then Biden is part of the Democratic Party. So it's
I said thanks for helping me.
probably worse than that, though, if you can imagine. A month before his inauguration, this is when he's already president-elect. There's really no going back. He goes to visit former president, impeached President Park Geun-hye, notoriously known for her corruption, the way she handled this Haewol Ferry disaster. He's the one that prosecuted her. He's the one that went after her. He made his whole campaign trail like, I care about justice, look at all the people that I brought down, deep state, whatever. He goes to her and he apologizes.
You apologize?
In the vibe, more like she looks like she's
And that
enjoys
signals
having
two things. First of all, this guy's a phony. And second of all,
a daddy.
she must have a lot of power still. Oh yeah, she must still have a lot of power. Because her dad was also a former president. So her family lines run deep. Like the water is very deep in that family.
Right, so at this point he's like, I'm a president, I'm gonna make things easier.
You guys are like up at the opposite of a spectrum
But
right
if
now.
the public ever asks for an apology about something, he has a very blasé way of handling things. He would almost taunt the public. That's what it feels like. For example, President Yoon was expected to apologize for some tasteless comments he made about the opposition party leaders. He just posts a picture of his dog, and he's holding out an apple for his dog. In Korean, the word for apology is sagwa. The word for apple is sagwa. He's like, here's your apology. That's what it seems
To
like.
the dog.
Yeah, to the dog, to the people. Like, you want an apology? Here's your apology.
Damn.
You want a sagwa? Here's your apple. It feels like he's mocking the demands of the public.
Yeah.
He doesn't write it, but that's pretty much what it means.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
the subtext to it.
It's like you're just
Insane.
sending a meme on.
Yes. 2020.
Sending a meme on Twitter.
Very extreme. People in Seoul. I'm sure you guys have seen those memes. Yeah, they made memes out of it. Where it's like that guy sitting on the roof of his car and he looks somewhat chill.
Oh, yeah.
And then people are like, me when the world is falling apart. Yeah, became like a thing. But people died in the floods. It was bad. And there's these sub-basement units in South Korea that are really difficult. If you've seen the movie Parasite, that's basically what it's on. Families are drowning. So if you're walking on the street, there is a window at where your feet are. And it goes down a level. And that's the only sunlight some of these units get. And now if there's floods, it's just flooding in. Some of these people are drowning and passing away in their own homes. President Yoon comes back, and he's got a whole story to tell. I guess. Presidential speech. President Yoon just casually mentions, while I was leaving work yesterday, I noticed that other apartments were already becoming flooded. So what does he do about it? He goes on vacation. He says he spent the entirety just reflecting on how he's going to serve the will of the people while keeping his passion fired up. Then when he finally comes back to help with the flood victims, he's just taking pictures, squatting down, and looking into the window of the sub-basement homes from the street level. He doesn't even go inside. To which people are questioning, how do you see that and still proceed to drive home? How do you just take these pictures? Does this guy have ice in his veins? What is happening? The worst PR response possible is given by the senior secretary of the president. Is the president supposed to stay at the office just because it's raining?
What?
It does indeed somehow get worse. In 2022, one of the worst typhoons in years hits the southern region of South Korea in what I can only describe as the most questionable PR press tour. President Yoon and his staff, all wearing matching uniforms, go to check on the civilians that have been affected, to hear their grievances, take some videos, rub off some presidential aura on them, and be on his merry way. That's what it seems like he's doing. A lot of it is recorded. President Yoon walks into this small, tiny, hole-in-the-wall restaurant that focuses on barley rice. That's their specialty. You gotta know that barley rice is so delicious there, probably. But it's this tiny little restaurant. It probably sits 4 people. They've got a whole lunch set menu for $6 with barley rice, soup, side dishes. And there's these 2 elderly women standing inside this tiny little square of a box. Everybody sits on the floor on all the small tables to eat. It's kind of cute. Probably incredible food. You have the president walking in with the whole entourage of like 40 people behind them, and they're just recording him. Fine, he's the president. He's not coming alone, but walks in. Cameras are recording. And the 2 older women, they seem like nice little grandmas with curly permed hair. And And they just have this very homey southern accent. Mr. President, please save us, please save us. We have nothing left. There's no water. There's no electricity. We've got nothing. He shakes their hand, walks in between them, and then walks past them in this tiny little cramped space and goes to the printed picture of the lunch set menu on the wall. He doesn't even address what they just said. He just goes to the barley rice picture and is staring at it.
What is he, hungry?
She looks hungry. The comments made zero empathy. Instead of even making eye contact with the woman, he's looking at the menu first. This is insane. Another writes, the thing he looked at the longest inside that restaurant was the menu board. The two women are crying and he goes to look at the menu. Should he get a cognitive test?
Wait, what's happening?
He's just analyzing the menu.
Oh, like he just like, okay, let me just get my lunch. Like, yeah, cool, sounds good.
Let me see if I want to eat here. Is the vibe that people get. He said, people are commenting, he looks the most serious looking at that menu. He looks so serious, I thought he was going to place an order. His supporters will argue that he's just a tough communicator, slightly arrogant, but he's still going to do some good. He's a prosecutor general that went after all of the presidents for corruption. He's not going to be corrupt. It is alleged that they were working tirelessly to pass a massive government construction project. They were trying to do these transportation projects that would cost astronomical amounts, wildly expensive government contracts. He wanted to change 50% of the transportation maps to benefit the areas where him and his family members, specifically Kim Gun-hee, his wife, and her parents, have a lot of land.
So he's trying to jack up his own family's real estate.
Yes. The project was scrapped once it became a full-blown scandal. Another dangerous aspect for citizens is President Yoon has a notoriously uncomfortable relationship with North Korea. He just keeps pissing off Rocket Man. North Korean Supreme Leader states, we do not want war, but we also have no intention of avoiding it. Which is exactly the statement that absolutely nobody in South Korea wants to hear. He continues, explicitly speaking, we will never unilaterally unleash a war if the enemies don't provoke us. Meanwhile, President Yoon states, should North Korea provoke us, we will punish them multiple times as hard. In order to obtain peace, we must make overwhelmingly superior war preparations.
Okay.
Kim Jong-un counters back, making it clear. Our army should deal a deadly blow to thoroughly annihilate them if we are provoked. At one point, North Korea's official message through Kim Jong-un's sister, Rocket Woman, is we don't like Yoon Suk-yeol himself. Dogs will always bark, as a puppy or an adult. Same goes for the one with the title of president.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
what?
And you have to remember, the previous president, Democratic leader Moon, he went and visited Kim Jong-un. They had a meeting. So things just start spiraling downhill.
Oh. Again?
Every entrepreneur
Kim
dreams
Jong-
of success.
little
But
sister
here's
is
the
hot, by the way.
insider secret. Selling isn't just about what you sell, it's about how you sell it.
Oh my
When
goodness.
Marco and I sold Grandpa Mingo's limited edition art pieces, we were at a complete loss, trying to figure out an online point of sale.
I didn't
How
ask.
do we ensure that the checkout is how do we ensure that the customer's credit information is protected? Thankfully, we had the ultimate partner
you.
with the #1 checkout experience on the planet. Shopify removes every possible friction point between interest
Strong
and
femme
purchase.
fatale
Plus,
vibes from
announces
her.
with
Okay.
Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%. This means fewer abandoned shopping carts, more successful checkouts. Shopify simplifies your commerce and amplifies success. The bottom line, businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Selena Gomez's Rare Beauty uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/rotten, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/rotten. Upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/rotten. In 2022, when President Yoon is elected into office, North Korea decides that they want to redefine what the word posturing means. They start launching non-stop missiles, stating, these tests are a clear warning to our enemies. To which President Yoon's office responds, stating that the missiles launched by North Korea aren't even that fast. We could probably intercept them. The whole thing has civilians on
Yo.
edge because, yeah, but one missile straight into Seoul is all it
Mhm.
And what is the First Lady doing during all of this? Plagiarizing photos. Plagiarizing famous people's photos.
To
There
do
is a
for what?
picture of her visiting Cambodia and holding an emaciated child in her arms.
Uh-huh.
People started noticing a similarity to a very famous photo that has gone down in history of
Wait.
Audrey Hepburn, well-known actress turned renowned philanthropist. Plagiarizing famous people's photos. There is a picture of her visiting Cambodia and holding an emaciated child in her arms. People started noticing a similarity to a very famous photo that has gone down in history of Audrey Hepburn, well-known actress turned renowned philanthropist, holding an emaciated child in her arms. Not only that, the two of them are wearing similar, simple, dark-colored, short-sleeve collared shirts. Their hair is tied back. Someone comments, also, why the hell is this woman staring off into the blue whilst volunteering? So Audrey Hepburn looks like she's walking somewhere holding that child and someone took a photo. Kim Gun-hee looks like she's just staring off into the sky, like having a profound moment. Is she okay in the head? People are wondering. There's a famous picture of Jackie Kennedy wearing an iconic outfit, all white skirt set. JFK is sitting in his office chair going over papers. She's standing next to him like a dutiful wife watching over him with like a slight smile on her face. Her arms are behind her back. It's like the symbol of traditional family unit. President Yoon and First Lady Kim recreate that picture on the presidential jet. She's just copying Audrey Hepburn. She's copying and dressing like Jackie Kennedy, wearing the same clothes, doing the same pictures, literally posing for the pictures. And it just seems like everything is about pictures for her. When she goes to look at a new bridge that was built, she dresses in like a Barbie architect outfit.
Was it, remember there was the whole trend of people like talking about how cool she looks. You remember?
Yes.
Like that was like a whole thing. Everyone's like, oh my god, look at South Korea's First Lady, like dressed to the
Yes. I mean, to be fair, like objectively, I think that her fashion choices are good.
Yeah, but now you see like the
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Oh.
It's like, oh my goodness, so cringy.
It's so cringy. It feels like she wants to be a celebrity more than anything. She's got fan clubs with people showing up with t-shirts that say I love Kim Gun-hee, and there are allegations that she started, made, and grew her own fan club. One psychologist thinks the personality of First Lady Kim, I think the biggest characteristic is her desire for recognition. She wants positions where she can be noticed, recognized, loved, and given attention, and she will keep trying to get to higher and higher positions. People have also pointed out her plastic surgery with a former personal acquaintance turned lifelong hater of Kim Gun-hee saying, you can't even call it plastic surgery. It's a complete transplant of a face. There is something very uncanny valley about her face. It
Wait.
is believed that she's
I wanna
had at
see.
least one facelift amongst other procedures. A complete turned lifelong hater of Kim Gun-hee saying, you can't even call it plastic surgery. It's a complete transplant of a face. There is something very uncanny valley about
It is like
her
she's
face.
wearing
It
a
is
mask.
believed that she's had at least one facelift amongst other
Yes,
procedures.
this is the same
People have been
video.
comparing her earlobes, even her hairline. So those are usually indicators of a facelift. So like, to put it simply, imagine a facelift. You have a mattress. You sleep on that mattress every single day. The fitted sheet gets a little wrinkly.
Not the mattress
so then you lift up
comparison.
the top part of the mattress, you pull the fitted sheet back, and then you stuff it under. So usually that place is going to be near your ears or your hairline, where they cut some of that excess skin off after they pull it tight, and then they re-sew it. Her hairline, it's like someone just made an eyeshadow line across her hairline. And then her ears, she did have a knife-cut ear, which is a very slim earlobe, but then now it's a very bulbous earlobe. So people have been comparing that. But I will say, I mean, yeah, it's plastic surgery. What's wrong with that? Netizens have made jokes of it. One of the bigger memes since they took office is this 11-picture collage of Kim Gun-hee's transformation over the years.
Wait.
The pictures are all numbered 1 through 11, and the meme is,
Oh.
pick which one she should have stopped at.
Oh.
With usually people picking number 4 or number 5.
Oh my god.
Like her progression of
Yeah,
face.
they're saying like, how much plastic surgery would you have stopped at to look the best? And they're like, she should have stopped at number 4, but instead she's at
8.
number 11.
Oh my.
So that's become a meme. There are also other memes of like, I can't wait until a whole movie comes out about her and they use 11 different actresses
Oh.
because she looks so different.
Which there was a movie.
A documentary called The First Lady. There are other scandals involving the First Lady Kim during the presidential race, but also the first 100 days in office. Her resume is incredibly packed, and most of it is fake.
Confirmed fake.
Dang,
Yes.
fake?
At a press conference, she even confirms it and she apologizes. She says, I inflated my career to look better and made some mistakes. I shouldn't have done that. Looking back, it was a very shameful thing and I sincerely apologize. I will take the time to quietly reflect and contemplate.
일과 학업을 함께하는 과정에서 제 잘못이 있었습니다.
Do you know was she fake?
Yeah, she faked being an executive at a gaming company, but her timeline didn't make sense because she was working there before the LLC was even formed, before the company was even spawned into existence. She had been an executive there. A lot of just random things, like she's the director of non-existent companies. Furthermore, her master thesis in college, it's completely copied, and she claims that she's pretty good at English, right? However, her thesis, the title reads, Member Yuji. In Korean, she's trying to write the retention of members, like retaining, keeping, maintaining members. Yuji is the transliteration. Okay, for example, it's like if you were to tell me to translate happy person. In Korean, happy person is like 행복한 사람, right? And I'm trying to write it in English. It should be happy person, but instead I write happy 사람. I just write S-A-R-A-M. I'm supposed to write happy people, but I write happy S-A-R-A-M. So for anyone who doesn't speak Korean, they're gonna be like, what is saram?
Yeah, I see. Okay, so she's a complete fraud.
Basically. I mean, allegedly. I'm scared.
Allegedly. Yeah,
It's also
allegedly.
said that President Yoon and the First Lady Kim were headed to the U.S. and they do some, there's a lot of drama here that I get very stressed about. Okay, so Jill Biden suggested a Lady Gaga in Blackpink performance multiple times, and this flies under the radar for quite a bit. Clearly, Blackpink members have insane schedules. Maybe they just can't make it. There are speculations about it, there's rumors about it, but they're shut down by the president's office, saying the speculated performances being reported by the media is not part of the agenda for the upcoming state visit. But out of seemingly nowhere, the chief of South Korea's National Security Office resigns. He states that it is because he withheld at least 6 requests from Jill Biden to invite Blackpink to perform at the state dinner.
Okay, guys. We passed the, Is that a girl cat's cat? I mean, I guess, yeah. Do not. Cute. Okay, there you go. Alright, acceptable. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the stream now. And I can actually make my signature. It's gonna. That's ugly. I can't do it. No way you thought I was gonna say wood to a cat. I don't know what to expect from you anymore, honestly. So. So honestly, you could say it's. And. No, you're scaring me again. Wouldn't. Just could. Alright, I'll probably mess around off stream more with it until I'm a little more comfortable, but other than that, I think I'll just work on the chibi model. And that's it. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I would look up something. What? Called quick access? Thanks on CSP. Thank you. Really useful. bet. I thank you. Okay, so I really do appreciate it, Colonel. Thanks for the patience. Nothing's funny. It's well, I'm just like embarrassed that I'm so bad at technology. Anyways, yeah, that was it. Alright. I already said it. What do you? Yeah. Again, so thank you. Thank you everyone else for watching. I will see you guys on Monday. Alright, any last words, Colonel? It's tradition, so wait, get it out. The bear on in the screen. Yeah, what about him? Is it female? It's just a bear. It's a stuffed animal. What is? Okay. All right. Good night. Good night, everyone. Yeah. See you on